This Week 6 NFL Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Right now, to honor football, MyBookie is offering up to $1,000 in free bets using the promo code SGP. That's right, $1,000 in bonus bets on your first deposit when you use the promo code SGP. Play, win, and get paid at MyBookie.ag. We're also brought to you by Amazon. Log on to SportsGamblingPodcast.com and click the Amazon banner. Bookmark that link and use it every time you shop to score sweet savings and support the podcast. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
That was super meta, dude.
How is that meta?
Just giving a Kershaw performance on the welcome there. See what I did? Topical and everything, Sean.
Oh, man. We were taping this just after the Dodgers loss to the Washington Nationals at home.
Wow.
I was watching the game at the gym before I came over here, Ryan, because I like to get my pump on, get the biceps going before.
You just said came and pump on.
Yeah.
Within seconds of one another.
We're doing video now. I want to, make sure the guns are out, ready to go.
I don't think there was a football move there.
YouTube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. And I was at the gym and I was watching it, and the Dodgers were up 3-1, and I was mad at myself for not betting the Dodgers. They're only minus 160, minus 170 over at mybookie.ag, and I'm kicking myself. I'm mad at myself. Then driving over, I'm listening to the game like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. What's happening? What's going on? And then I didn't think they were going to win the World Series, but I didn't think they'd go out like this.
We turned the game on, and then bang, it was over, just like that.
Just like that. Grand salami in the 10th.
I was hoping they'd make it so I could go see a Yankee World Series game, local.
Congrats to the Nationals, #Natitude. Now, Justin Pantani, friend of the program, he is a Dodgers super fan, guy I grew up with, and he wanted to vent. He wanted to call in. So before we hop into the football, let's take a listen.
Hold on to your seats.
Man. How's it going, Sean and Ryan? Just calling in. Talk about this Dodger game. I don't even know where to start. Fire Dave Roberts. I guess that would be the first thing. Just don't know why you keep Kolarek and Jensen in the bullpen that whole time. I don't know, what Roberts is thinking. I mean, it's like you're at war and you got bazookas and you decide to go out there with like a 9mm pistol. Doesn't make any sense. Why are you going to use Kershaw? No reason to. What? I'm just baffled by that. And then Joe Kelly has continuously shit the bed for us all year. So why try to use him for 2 innings? I mean, we got away with 1 inning. Why put him back out there? So it doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. They keep talking about using analytics in sports, but Dodgers must not be using it. I don't know what Dave Roberts is doing. And I'm trying to keep it together for this phone call so I don't just freak out and start swearing. But I don't know. I'm still in shock. 3-1 lead. Decided to put Kershaw out there. Makes no sense. And then Maeda, great job, but we don't want to use him another inning? That doesn't make any sense either. But then we want to use Joe Kelly for 2 innings, and then we don't want to pull him when he walks the leadoff batter. We'd rather keep him out there with the bases loaded. Like what? Like what's Dave Roberts doing? I don't know. All right, bye.
So
I love closing that up.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was he? Was that a walk? Something had him winded a little bit. I'm a little concerned.
I don't know. All right, bye.
He was. Yeah. For those of you,
sounds like my dad after an Eagles loss. I don't know. All right, bye.
For those of you who don't know, that's like a code red depression.
Yeah,
voice
that is
right
bad
there.
for that guy lives in Hawaii. Life's a dream, but tough break there for the old Dodgers.
Yeah, they just show every year.
And I don't follow baseball as regularly, as some of these baseball heads. But I mean, it makes sense to put Kershaw in, right? He's like a guy who just always shows up in the playoffs. Is that?
They call him Big Game Kershaw. It's unbelievable how some guys just aren't clutch.
They're not, Ryan. There's a clutch gene, and doesn't seem like Kershaw has it. Maybe the books, I don't know. Maybe give him another decade before he figures that out.
Sean, speaking of clutch,
yes,
I have a little teaser alert. Halloween this year. There may be an Eli Manning jersey involved in my costume. Was working on the costume.
What the fuck?
Was working on the costume with the kid. I don't know.
Well, Stay
tuned.
Stay
Stay tuned for Instagram.
I feel like that's my move, is to always just kind of somehow crowbar a jersey into my Halloween costume, because it makes it really easy and you don't have to wear a mask. It's very simple. I remember when Brett Favre, when he exposed his genitals, I went with I had like a fake dick, and a roommate at the time, Casey, had a Brett Favre jersey, so I wore that with just a fake dick hanging out, and it was a very simple, easy Halloween costume.
It's a pretty hilarious Halloween costume.
It was. I got the eye black and everything.
We're thinking something along the lines of dead Eli and Odell. She's got an Odell jersey, so.
Oh, the haunted Odell.
Fuck those guys.
Wow, you're even saying fuck Eli, right?
It's just we're good. He's being a good backup so far. I foresee a future where somehow we're talking about how Eli needs to play more football, one more game, because the season's out of hand.
Will he be named the starter, right?
No, I'm saying no, but I'm a little worried. I'm worried.
He's getting nervous over there. Okay, a couple of things, couple items of business to take care of before we hop into the Week 5 recap. The NBA is upon us, Ryan.
Oh boy!
And we announced that our site editor Ryan McKee, Roundball Ryan, as I like to call him, nickname's not really taken off yet, but he will be launching his own NBA basketball pod. Get a lot of the contributors in. Going to be a lot of fun, and he is launching a NBA listener league. So if you want to be involved, give a shout to Ryan why you should be entered, and hit him up on slack.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Couple other items of business, Ryan.
Yes.
And that is the free roll football contest presented by longtime pals BetSperts, trying to give away maybe we'll be able to give away $5,000. I think we're right at the 3,500 mark, depending on how many people can sign up. You can still sign up because you can get those weekly prizes. You can get free merch from the SGP merch store. Two-way tie for the Week 5 winner, and that was King of the North, who I have already mailed him his mesh shorts, his custom mesh shorts.
Ooh,
Gotta love a man who, a lot of items on the slate to pick out, and he goes, high-quality mesh shorts.
Leisure for the strip club experience.
That is a lead pipe lock that those shorts will see a strip club. Tied for him was myself. Give it up for me, Ryan.
How good does that feel?
Oh, pretty awesome. And we're going to be talking about that as we break down my impressive week. 11-2-1 ATS. Of course, somehow I didn't hit my lock. I did hit my dog and my tees. Kramer, I'm looking at a lot of green on your slate. Week 2, 3, 4, and 5 above 500.
You could also say that as after week 1. Since week 1, 4 weeks in a row.
4 weeks in a row, all green.
And I gave you 2 locks last weekend, Sean. Unfortunately, it was a push on the podcast. Hopefully you took that 1.5. There were definitely some folks on Twitter like, why not just take the money line? Well, sir.
There you go.
That's why.
And Ryan, I noticed you have the lock in this sheet marked as correct. But again, we're
no. I do not actually.
That was a clerical.
It's in this. I marked it at it's blue on the grading.
Sure.
I put the 1 in there because I
blue is a
also
push.
gave you Green Bay plus 3.5 on the Periscope.
Well, that was my dog.
I'll go back and adjust.
Well, and again, I just want to clarify because some members of the SGPN family, they like to say like, oh well, hey, on the podcast we picked it 11.5, but I got this other sheet. Accusations were flying around, and I'm not angry at the audience for supporting Colby and his soft ways of maintaining his 6-pack, in spite of the fact that he clearly got the pick wrong. I'm just disappointed. I thought our listeners were by the book people, by the book guys, by the book gals. You pick it on the podcast at a certain price, stuff's going to change. It's the nature of the business. You get some bad breaks. A couple times you get a good break. But it would have been nice for you, Ryan, this week to hit your lock there. Because, yeah, I bet it. I got it at 1.5. But, yeah.
It felt like – and the worst was in the Super Contest, which –
Yes, the Super Contest.
Well, actually, let's finish the free roll.
Let's
finish the free roll because –
Oh, yeah, give us an update on the leaderboard.
Sean, you did. You dominated, but you want to talk about season long, Sean. Before I get to the top, what do we want to do today?
I don't know, top 3, 4.
Top 5?
Sure.
All right, Raw Dog Express. I like that name. We need to get more good names in there. Ethan Lee, 22. Iron Chef Brad, they are all tied for third place with 47. Mikey CP, could that be an alias for Christian Peanut? Mikey CP, 622. And Vincent DV, 46. They're tied for the lead with 48 correct picks. Sean, you wouldn't believe it, but if you scroll a little bit down, I'm essentially tied for 9th place with 45 correct picks.
Oh my God!
Hello.
It's gonna be pretty exciting, Ryan.
Hello, and Sean, I went and I even, unlike you, I was like, well, I should probably look up to see how Sean's doing too. And you wouldn't believe this, Sean. After that stellar week, and I wrote it down, but I realized I wrote it down wrong. You are tied for 67th place with 40 correct picks.
Okay, so I'm in the mix. And again,
This is out of 1,355 people, Sean.
Yeah, a lot of people talk a lot of shit. You guys really know your stuff, but we're both in the top 100? And that was coming off of a horrific week one.
Really
a
was.
week one that was tainted by smelling salts. I went an embarrassing 3-12-1. I had a hard look in the mirror, got off the smelling salts, got back on the Jameson. I've righted the ship ever since.
What do you think your Betspertise team is?
Oh,
I'm guessing this is the team you've done the best with. But
I
small
think I
sample
randomly
size,
saw it, but maybe like Pittsburgh.
L.A. Rams.
Really?
You know what mine is?
What is that?
The Falcons. Because I identified them as being trash.
They've been. I mean, we'll get to it. I didn't. This is. Yeah, it's bad times.
Anyway,
for the Falcons.
so yes, free roll football contest. You can still sign up. You can still compete for that swag. Sean, how do people sign up?
Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com and click the contest.
But coming back to the recap and how I pushed the lock on the podcast at 1, I also for the super contest, the Westgate super contest, I took. Not only did I take the Rams, which was 1, I took the Steelers, which was 3 in the. So
but
both
I bet Steelers at 3.5, and I bet Rams at 1.5.
Exactly. Both I bet at the other, and oh man, it didn't feel good. I went 0-2 in the super contest.
Those Steelers Ravens games always come down to a field goal. It doesn't matter if Mason Rudolph gets murdered, Ben Roethlisberger is out. It's always a field goal game.
It's phenomenal. So, in case people are wondering, Sean.
Yes.
In the super contest, we are sitting in we're in like the top 30%. We're in striking distance.
That's the team super contest that we
right.
got going. My bookie
here
super
we go.
contest.
So many super contests.
I know. The My Bookie super contest.
See, Sean didn't
back-to-back 4-1 weeks.
He's like back to talking about Sean.
Well, I'm ranked 615, baby. And mybookie.ag, shout out to them, but they have a each quarter they're giving away $12,500 to the winner. So 4-1 week, first week of the second quarter, that could, if I get hot here, look out. And I'm not exempt from the prize pool. Now let me make that clear. All right, enough. I feel like we've done a fair amount of touting. Ryan.
Can I do one more thing before we get into it?
If you have any more touting, feel free.
Well, not touting, but more of a do we do they still say shout outs? Is that what Nick Cannon says on his radio show?
Yeah.
Shout out. A review. A hot off the press review. Big Stones equals Big Locks. 5 stars by Asila Malaklum. These guys pick every game every week. They give you DFS, college football, and NFL locks. They have a legit studio set up, and their audio drops cannot be matched. Semicolon, Sean. Good grammar, too.
Wow. I didn't know our audience knew how to use semicolons.
What more do you want? Sean and Ryan continue to dominate the big-name networks by marching into town, swooping up the ladies, tearing up the field, and taking your favorite snotty-nosed analytical network nerd and stuffing them
in that locker.
Deep into the lockers that they can't get their spreadsheets out of their jockstrap.
Kramer,
SGP equal legendary.
That guy's awesome.
Hashtag DGens only. Get that man some swag.
Hit us up, podcast at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And you can listen to other networks, but give us another network, Ryan, where while hosting the show, midstream, they're interrupted by the virtual blackjack dealer that...
Yeah, find another show that's smelling salts plus online blackjack plus having a severe rivalry with Possum. Speaking of which, Sean.
And Kramer had said that off the show, he goes, "You should keep doing that blackjack bit. It's really funny." And then in my head, I go, "Oh yeah, okay, that's a fun bit." And honestly, what my original plan was, not to pull the curtain back too far, but I thought, hey, this blackjack thing is a funny running joke. But I may as well actually play some blackjack. And then what my plan was while you guys were going on your long diatribe about the Virginia Tech thing, I was going to interrupt and be like, do you double every soft 16 against a 4? Well, just kind of as a joke, but the the sound effect that I had up on my audio did the interrupting for me, and it was a better joke than I ever could have written.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens, Sean.
It does, Ryan. Oh, listen to those horns. Listen to that sound. The NFL on Fox every Sunday. We're sitting here in the Gamble Cave, just watching 4 screens, doing it all, watching every single game, watching the game. You guys don't want to watch Skins Dolphins? We'll watch that for you. We'll give you a little bit of analysis. We got you the plays. We got you the picks. We got it all. But we're a content train, a free content train that keeps chugging along. We need a little coal. We need to keep that engine hot to keep the steam going. We pay our writers. A lot of these shithead sites, they don't pay their writers. They're like, oh, exposure. Come on. We know our writers. They're like the listeners. They're degenerates. They need cash so they can bet on these goddamn games. You know who makes that possible? The great folks over at mybookie.ag, the presenting sponsor of the podcast, SGPN. They got our backs. So a lot of times people say, hey, appreciate all the free content. What can I do to help? Rate, review, share on iTunes, and support our sponsors. And our sponsors, the big one, the big dog, mybookie.ag. Use the promo code SGP. Play, win, and get paid.
Bang.
Bang, biscuit, as they say on the DP show. Rapid fire recap on week 5, Ryan. I feel like we're pressed for time already.
Are we?
The Larms, 29, Seattle, 30. Actually, back-to-back awesome Thursday night games.
Yeah. Better than Monday night for sure.
Yeah, certainly. And, of course, that's the NFL punishing ESPN for trying to talk shit on Roger Goodell. Whole other side story. I don't know what the big takeaway is here, but Russell Wilson just kind of balling out, man. I was high on the Seahawks, still kind of high on them. This Rams team, I think, is good but flawed. It would be my takeaway from this Rams team.
They certainly look like they're a team having a bit of a Super Bowl hangover.
Yes.
They certainly look like a team now who, before the season when I had this hot take that the Rams would miss the playoffs, looking more and more possible. Gurley did not practice today, so just.
But does
this is less about the Rams for me and more just about the fact that Seattle, Danger Russ is a fucking 10 out of 10 right now, and God bless you if you got an MVP ticket in your pocket, because I think if he stays healthy, he walks away with it. Because I think they make the playoffs. I think they potentially can win this division, and they're going to do it with nothing else.
I had the Seahawks at 11-5, and that was my lock for the.
What did I have, Sean?
You had 9-7, but we all and cited Ryan McKee. We all had them over, and we also all suggested the Seahawks win the division at plus 300. Ryan, you threw in Rams no playoff at plus 275. I had Rams 9-7. You had 8-8. That kind of feels like where they're at. McKee had Cardinals 8-8. That seems to be a pipe dream, but I think we were right a lot about this division. I think we were both off on the 49ers, starting off at 4-0. So not a great start for us on that.
Any last minute cancellations over at Jared Goff Sucks Island?
There were a couple cancellations in the third quarter. He drove down. I mean, kudos to Goff. Like, he drove them down on the road in Seattle to set up a game-winning field goal. But the guy's just,
Well, I think
not a winner.
Pulling back the curtain, I think Greg the Leg might own a little real estate out there on Jared Goff Sucks Island.
There's an investor. There's a lot of
ins and outs. He's looking to get out quick. Wanted to spike that value a little bit.
Don't look into the financing of Jared Goff Island. That's all I'm asking. Pittsburgh Steelers 23, Ravens 26. We hit on this. The Steelers Ravens. It's always a 3-point game. Doesn't matter the cast of characters. Steelers. Man. They probably should have won this game. Crazy fumble there late by Juju. Tomlin getting cute and kicking off in overtime. This Ravens team, their defense, they're still getting credit for being the old Baltimore defense, but it's clearly not there. And Pittsburgh, I think they still got a little fight in them. I did a NFL Against the Spread power rankings post over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, and I wasn't completely out on them because – I think their record, they're not as bad as their record shows, and especially with a third-string quarterback. Like, I still think this team will get up for games, is my takeaway.
And the defense seems they seem to be trying hard, if nothing else, because
and I think
about what who the fuck was the quarterback they rolled out there at the end?
Melvin Hodges.
It was Samford, really?
Yeah,
like they're fucked. This
it seems like a team Colby would make us pick in the 6-pack.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, real side note, I meant to bring it up last night on the college show. You saw they're doing a 71 round draft for the XFL.
No,
we're gonna have to make Colby's gonna break down every round.
Watch it live.
Anyway,
Chicago Bears 21, Raiders 24. Oh God, Bears are my lock, and I guess I just have to. Take my medicine here and say that the Raiders are better than I thought. They just are.
Playoff team right now, Sean. You won 11-2-1 last week, and you fucking locked up this game. How dare you?
Insane. And I did bet on the 2 games I lost. Arizona Cardinals +3 against the Bengals. Bengals at home couldn't get this win. Just a horrible sign for the Bengals. 0-5.
AJ Green's not playing this year.
I mean, if I was AJ Green, I don't know. And the smart thing for the Bengals would be to trade him, right? You're turning over the leaf. If you're going to stick with Zach Taylor, you're going to need a bunch of picks. You're going to have a high first-round pick. Why would you hang on to I don't know.
Where does Dalton go? What team is Dalton the backup on?
I could see him be on the Giants.
Whoa. Is that what you're calling for?
Yeah, Eli. I mean, I don't know. That seems like a scenario.
Patriots?
I don't know. Is he a Belichick guy? Dolphins maybe. I think his salary will still be high, and I don't think Belichick would pay a backup that much.
Isn't this the last year of his contract?
Yeah, but he's gonna be able to re-sign for
like $15 million.
Yeah, like
you think more?
Well, also he could be brought in to compete for a starting job. I don't know. It really could go any way for Andy Dalton, but I think Bengals will take a shot at the
Raiders. That's where he's going.
Raiders.
Look at this guy, the Red Rocket.
And John Gruden has to be so pissed because he's going to be stuck with Derek Carr now for a while.
Long. Cox.
Panthers 34, Jags 27. Missed out on the Jag Minshew mania. Jags, they had a shot. They had like 3 shots at the end zone there. Interesting back and forth game, but Christian McCaffrey is just having a hell of a year. Breaking off big runs. Kyle Allen, competent. And I swear to God, if Cam Newton was in this game, they would have lost. I know it was all about Christian McCaffrey, but I don't think Christian McCaffrey could put the team on his back if Cam Newton was still there. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's got the locker room now, right? No, I mean, here's the problem, right? I don't think he can sustain being on the field for 97% of the snaps.
Yeah, and he's already dealing with a hip issue, and that flight to London's got to be tough on his hip. I mean, it just got a long flight if you're dealing with a weird hip or
this is going to be an interesting test for this team. Like you'll find out if Cam not being there really is a good thing. Which, Cam Newton.
For Ryan, take him and Dwight Howard off your mantle.
They're done.
Minnesota Vikings 28, New York Giants 10. I of course had the Vikings. You of course had the Giants. Rough outing for. Any big thoughts? I thought this was I had Dalvin Cook and DFS had a pretty solid game. They got Thielen involved. Evan Ingram's
out.
hurt now.
Sterling Shepard out.
So Golden Tate is their lone skill player,
fresh.
basically.
Slayton, look out for Slayton going forward.
Wayne Gallman knocked out for a concussion.
He's out.
I had a source had a source close to the situation. Apparently, one of the questions they asked was, "Who was the last birthday shout out you gave on Cameo?" He could not name Ryan Real Money Kramer. That's when they knew he had a concussion. And his Cameo,
that's part of the baseline.
His Cameo rate has dropped to $15. So if you want a concussed, that's
is it really $15 now?
No, that's a joke. But
that would
will
be
fun. We really have to figure this out. We should try and order another Wayne Gallman Cameo because I'm dying to know if he cuts cameos while in the concussion protocol.
So we just get him to do one that's just no CTE here.
Yeah, I'm fine. I will play. My brain is not damaged. Wayne Gallman.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the game? I didn't catch a ton of this.
The Vikings have a good defense, and the Giants have a bad. They have a secondary that can be beat, and for some reason they just didn't. Like, you got to just take Thielen out of the game. Like, let Diggs beat. Let them show me Diggs before I let Thielen just run all over the place. So, not the worst game. He didn't throw any pick sixes. That's good. that usually happens.
The bar has gotten set so low.
That's all right. They were really looking ahead to this Patriots game.
I can see that. It was on the calendar. Speaking of the Patriots, 33, Skins 7. Skins jumped out to a 7-0 lead, and I tweeted out, what's going to happen when we all hop on New England live line? And, they went off. Pats 33, Skins 7.
FU mode.
Not much to take away here from just RIP Jay Gruden. Finally got knocked out. Interesting note, the interim coach, the O-line coach, he was actually the guy that took over for John Gruden when John Gruden got fired. So a little fun piece of trivia there. Philadelphia Eagles 31, Jets 6, covered the spread, no problem. Defense scored 2 touchdowns. Offense had a couple of moments they could clean up. Penalties still an issue. I feel like they're still trying to figure out the deep ball, non-Deshaun Jackson. But
there wasn't much you learned from the Eagles here.
No,
it was a big result, but.
Yeah, and
God, the Jets are horrible.
Yeah, Orlando Scandrick, I'd never seen this in a game where he cornerback blitz and he just ran up to Luke Falk and just like ripped the ball out of his hand. There was normally there's like a tomahawk chop that jars the ball loose. He just grabbed it from him, and Luke Falk's like looking down, almost like in a movie where someone like a woman gets her purse stolen and they like look down to see their purse, like, will someone get that man? He's got my purse.
Yeah, the Jets are squarely the Jets are in timeout, right?
Darnold's back. I think makes them a little more interesting.
You got to wait and see, right?
That offensive line is really bad. But also Luke Falk wasn't getting rid of the ball. Kind of just a double-edged sword there, going right into Sam Darnold's spleen. Saints 31, Bucks 24. I had the Saints, you had the Bucks. Considered locking this up, kind of kicking myself for not. I just thought it was a good matchup for the Saints.
This team's good. They might not need Drew Brees. Do they start Drew Brees when he's healthy?
That's interesting. Are they playing out of their minds because Drew Brees isn't there? I do think there is. And we saw with the Eagles when you lose your backup or your starting quarterback.
Here we go.
And the team's rallying around Big Dick Butler, a.k.a. Teddy Bridgewater. I do think there is a little bit of like rallying, hey, we got to get our stuff together. That happens when you have a really good quarterback knocked out. It'll be interesting to see if it continues.
Yeah,
because I think this, and I'm not trying to hedge my bets here, but I do think the Saints team is good. But I do think the heat they've gotten with Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know. It does feel like that could run out at some point, right?
I mean, I stand by the fact that he's got to throw the ball down the field. And it hasn't – I mean, their defense has been great, and Kamara and the receivers have been great. I don't know. Drew Brees hopes to be throwing a regular-sized football soon, Sean. We've seen
He's ahead of schedule of Andrew Luck.
We've seen these stories before.
Andrew Luck has not thrown a football in 3 weeks. He was seen – he had a Nerf Turbo hanging out with some Australian backpackers. What a loser. They beat the Chiefs without Andrew Luck. You coward. Houston Texans 53, Atlanta Falcons 32. Both riding the Texans. Love Deshaun Watson and his focus coming into the game. Texans a real hot and cold team. It's I don't know. There's moments where I'm like, this Texans team could make a run at the AFC Championship, and then there's other times where you watch the Texans and you go, this is team 6-10, and kind of epitomizes the AFC South. It's tough to get a handle on. It feels like each one of these teams are good one week, bad the other week. I mean,
great offense, no defense. That's what we're looking at, right?
But they have players on defense too. It's weird, and they got protection for Deshaun Watson. I don't know if it was just they figured out something with the offensive line, or Atlanta just can't get a pass rush. But 5 touchdowns for Deshaun Watson, huge game.
Watson has a little of that Russell Wilson in him sometimes, where he's just like, we're not losing, and Will Fuller's healthy. We know he's not going to stay healthy. Like Will Fuller cannot stay healthy. The Stills hurt. QT was out. Now he's back. So if they can, D. Hopkins didn't even have to do much. They scored 53 points. He didn't score a touchdown. So, the Texans seem like a team that you're going to be able to get value against from time to time as a road team. And at home, I think they're just going to have games like this where just shootout, play overs.
Buffalo 14, Tennessee 7. Ugly game. We both had the Bills. Solid defense carries the day once again for Buffalo.
They missed 4 field goals. Kicker cut. What is up with kickers?
It's been a particularly bad year for kicking. It just has.
Shit's gotten hard, I guess.
I mean, I understand the extra points because they moved it, but field goals in general, I don't know. Maybe they're messing with the K-balls. Maybe a little conspiracy theory.
I think it's probably everyone's so worried about being able to kick it further. Like back in the day, dudes couldn't like a 45-yarder was like, eh.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you're expected to make a 50-yarder.
It is weird. Maybe it's the same thing with like Tiger, where one guy started working out, everyone started working out, and then at some point they've worked out too much. And
I mean, a guy used to do it barefoot.
Yeah. NFL's changed. You know what's not changed? The Chargers blowing games.
God.
San Diego Superchargers, charge!
I had the Broncos catching 6.5. They won outright, 20-13.
I had the privilege of watching the game with Justin Decker.
Yeah, give us some highlights of him.
Not much. It was, I took a nap for a period during the game. I was really tired, gassed out from that early window. He was not super stoked. He was not happy with the effort on defense. He was,
and that was supposed to be the offensive line falling apart. Russell Kuhn hosting his Bitcoin conference. Nice run for Bitcoin lately, so hopefully you got in. I actually threw out a Bitcoin tip in the Slack, so quick sidebar there. But Russell Kuhn, the offensive line, once that falls apart, this Chargers team but from what I saw, Rivers was missing throws as well, and this defense was supposed to. They had so much talent on the defensive line. It's just not
as much as I was clowning on Romo and Nance for just being like, this game means so much to Vic Fangio. It did appear to be one of those games where they had the right defensive game plan. Keenan Allen was not really involved. There was opportunity, and it just seemed like whenever there was a chance, either the Chargers were getting flagged for something or the ball bounced the wrong way. So, look, I think this was just a desperation spot for Denver. And I'm not necessarily reading too much into this. I still think the Chargers, maybe I notch the Chargers down to 4th here in the AFC with the Colts maybe slotting ahead of them.
Are you crazy?
Name the teams you have ahead of the Chargers.
Kansas City.
Yep.
New England.
I agree.
The Colts,
Agree.
Texans,
Mm.
the Bills.
You trust in
Bills are a much better team. I would take
a playoff game. If you're on the road,
the Chargers are on the road.
just if you're on the road and you're ranking the teams that you would want to take.
Oh well, that's different than a better team. But I have the
Well, in a playoff, all right. So on a neutral site, you'd favor the Texans over the Chargers.
yeah right now. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean
wouldn't.
they're a much more competent.
The
team.
Colts, they would be fourth. I don't know this Chargers.
I got Bills, Patriots.
I don't. No, you're crazy.
Chiefs.
You're crazy. You're backing Josh Allen.
Raiders.
You're crazy.
I would take the Colts. I would take the Jaguars above this Chargers team right now.
Oh, stop it.
Straight up, neutral
Dude,
field. I would take the.
You are not Gardner Minshew. Stop it.
It's the line play, and Phillip Rivers is hitting the wall. You hung out with Justin. You can't see it. You're blind to it.
Okay, maybe you're right.
Green Bay Packers 34, Dallas 24. Dogs were barking. Both like the pack, and just a nice little ass kicking for. How about them Cowboys?
Yep.
Timeline. Where are you guys at, guys?
Keeping the Giants one game back.
Everyone got super mad at Ellen, and I was also mad at Ellen for supporting the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was too easy. Like, fuck you. You're not a real Cowboys fan.
No, and then everyone's like, "Well, she said she was there to support her friend Aaron Rodgers." I mean, you can do the math on that, but if you're in Jerry Jones's box, you're supporting the Cowboys in my mind. She wasn't wearing a cheese head. She hasn't watched an ounce of football in her life. Indianapolis Colts winning outright in KC. Loved them plus 12. Ryan, you are on the Chiefs.
I knew I should have taken them when they were plus 420, Sean. I knew it. It was calling to me.
Yeah, it was
I
Irish,
didn't
bro.
do it though. What the fuck was this? I told you I fell asleep for the second half of this one. Didn't miss much.
Colts just physical. Got interior pressure on Kansas City.
How does this Kansas
Andy
City?
Reid, couple nice little Andy Reid-esque gaffes.
So when we're watching the AFC Championship game and
Yep.
the Patriots rush for like 250 yards and 5 touchdowns against this Chiefs team, who's going to be surprised?
Mm.
Can you wait to lay that touchdown or whatever it's going to be? What's the spread in New England?
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. And I don't know if you even want to go there because it's
What, Brady?
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
no, just
Talking
how,
about falling off cliffs.
well, yeah, he's falling off a cliff, but it doesn't matter because their defense is. This is an all-time defense. Now, granted, the competition has been so bad, it's really hard to frame it.
They haven't faced Danny Dimes yet. Let's see what happens on Thursday night.
Actually, I hit the database, but it still holds true. All right, what do we got left here? Baker time. 49ers. They took care of business. What was it? 31-3. Was
Crazy.
the final.
They're undefeated.
Undefeated. Jimmy G. Still, that kind of doesn't look good. I know. Maybe it's just me holding on to my anti-49ers.
No, you're right.
take.
You're right.
And again, not to sound like Booger McFarland, but without the fullback, without Juszczyk in there, I think this could impact this 49ers defense.
Well, they're also missing they're now missing both tackles, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know, man. It is just a yeah, if you're a 49ers fan, you got to feel great because you're 4-0. But some of this feel a little off. Am I crazy?
Well, I mean, they have a good coach, so that's good.
You think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think he's fairly objectively he's a good coach. He's at least going to have his team prepared. And they're going to do things that are maybe more outside the box than inside the box. So from that perspective, yeah, I definitely think he's a good coach. Now, do I think Jimmy G's a good quarterback? No, absolutely not. And do I love the fact that they're 4-0 because I'm going to see some value betting against them in the coming weeks? Absolutely, yes. So, this also helps me achieve my nearly 3-1 Rams miss the playoffs. So we'll see. It's not the worst thing. It's not like I bet against them this year on the season long. So, yeah, I don't know. Baker, though. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, we had some. What are we gonna call him, Ryan? Because we tweeted out that meme of him transitioning from Baker Mayfield to not like Cam Newton, but from going from Baker Mayfield to Jay Cutler. Is it Baker Cutler? Is it Smokin' Jay Mayfield?
Ooh.
Is it Jay Baker? There's a lot of names. Maybe if you have a version of the nickname combination, tweet us at Gambling Podcast. Looking to lock it down. Unless Kramer, do you have any leads? Smokin' Jay Mayfield is kind of fun.
That works. Jay the Baker Mayfield. That can work too. It's kind of like a wrestling name.
Wrestling.
By the way, Sean, quick aside. So they're jamming. Oh, hello.
See the new ad music. It's a slow build-up. So when I cue it sometimes, Ryan doesn't realize that I'm here. I'm talking about Amazon, partnering up with Amazon. As always, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, click the Amazon link, support the podcast. And while we're here, while we're talking about how you, the listeners, can support the podcast, because again, this is free, could use a little bit of support, I will be headlining a comedy show in the greater Philadelphia area, October 25th, 8:30 p.m. kickoff, $10, only $10. The Sound Bank in Phoenixville, PA. Got to get the tickets at the door. The Sound Bank in Phoenixville, PA, October 25th, 8:30 p.m. I'm going to be doing a stand-up set, all sports jokes, all sports related. So come out. I'll be getting drunk with you guys, maybe do some shots with my dad, Tom Green. So great opportunity for you to come hang out if you're in the greater Philadelphia area there. The Sound Bank in Phoenixville, PA, October 25th.
Look at you, Sean.
There you go. Get some plugs in.
Real quick. So I'm watching football on Sunday. They're jamming wrestling down our throats.
Oh, my God.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the missus spent some time in Florida. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna record this first episode, see what the deal is. The Rock is coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't get it, Sean.
Mm.
I know I'm going to alienate some of our fans, but
There are a couple wrestling fans.
I appreciate it. But this is no different than watching a drama on Showtime or HBO, right? But just with lubed up big dudes.
Sports entertainment, Ryan.
Anyway, The Rock was pretty awesome. I'll say that. I watched until The Rock, and then that was kind of where it ended for me. But they're Erin Andrews, by the way. She's working as a behind the scenes reporter. Kind of interesting. She's treating it like it's a sporting event. But yeah.
Well, interesting, and I don't know if it's happened yet because I don't watch wrestling. And we saw our close personal friend Rob Gronkowski.
Oh.
He's signed to Fox to do. He's going to be debuting this Thursday night.
Stole one of my
tonight.
nuggets for the game.
Oh, okay. Sorry, didn't mean to step on it, but I think there's some sort of connection between Fox getting Rob Gronkowski and Fox getting wrestling. Not saying I have any inside info, but the truth is out there. Gronk could be double dipping. That's all I'll say, Ron.
Well, what's the next wrestling pay-per-view? Because
you're asking the right guy.
I have a feeling
the guy who's just nonstop.
I'm gonna get so much shit from Billy. No, he's gonna be like, "You need a wrestling show. You can make free money." Gronk is 100% making it into the ring in WWE. Right? This is all about that. This is less about the football. This is a side part. They're like, yeah. I'll talk about football if you let me be in wrestling. I mean, I feel like this will be a greater accomplishment for Gronk to be part of the WWE in a full-time role. So that's what's coming.
Could see him getting jacked about that.
Sean, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's break down Week 6.
All right. First of all, Thursday night football. The New England Patriots host my New York Giants, who are once again a massive underdog. 17.5. Jesus Christ. Plus 750 on the money line, minus 1250 for the Pats. 40.5 is the total.
Couldn't give you that 16.5, huh?
No Ingram. No Shepard. No Barkley. Did I miss anyone? Everyone's out. But they got Red Ellison, Sean.
Who's Red Ellison?
The backup tight end. They're running out there with a fullback with Penny. They're running out there with Darius Slayton, Golden Tate.
So they're gonna get murdered. I mean,
Danny Dimes. You're telling me, much like on a nice brisk day in February of 2008, when I held a plus 450 ticket on the New York Giants in a game there was no chance they could win, playing the greatest offense ever this year, Danny Dimes in his 4th start. He looks to take on the greatest defense Bill Belichick has ever had. Take the point, Sean. And I don't want to tease ahead, but I'll confess. I put a couple shekels on the money line on my
God.
Road teams are crushing it. More importantly, dogs are crushing it.
Road teams and dogs are doing well in Thursday Night Football for sure. What I will say is, you know who hasn't been doing well? The Giants. You know who has been doing really well is the Patriots. They have a historic defense right now that we're looking at.
Sean, this
historic defense is going up against Daniel Jones. As you pointed out, you seem to use it as a good point, his 4th career start. I'm going to say that's a negative on a short week when you're missing every single one of your skill position players.
You know what? But it's he's playing with all the guys that were with him in training camp. All the backups,
chemistry.
There's chemistry there. The defense. Maybe this is the game we see Tom Brady get knocked out for good. Short week.
What's the team total on the Giants points? Is it like 13?
Do they have it up?
What would you take? New England's defensive points.
Oh, stop.
Plus 10.5 versus the Giants points.
What? So the Giants offense has to score 10.5 more points than the Patriots defense?
Yeah.
I'll take the Giants offense.
Okay. I would go the other way. I would take the Patriots defense catching 10.5.
Yeah, I mean the team totals aren't out, but
because I don't know if they get to 10, and then if they do, I still think there's a chance Pats get a defensive touchdown.
So what are they predicting? Like a 28 to 11 game? Yeah, somewhere in there.
It's gonna get ugly, Ryan. It's gonna get ugly.
It could get ugly, or we could be shot. What are we going to talk about here? Of course, I'm taking 17.5 points. That's a ridiculous number to lay, Sean. You're on the wrong side of 17. My power rankings have this squarely at 16.5.
It's funny. It's just been a year of such dogs. However, Giant favorites have been covering at a crazy rate.
All right, let's go. Sunday. Guess what, Sean? Set your alarms. We got a game in London, another game over at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They look like hot garbage over there in the EPL. Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston. What does Jameis Winston get into over in London?
Oh, no.
He's not a man who likes etiquette. And I think that Florida etiquette is a bit different than over there in
He'll be
London.
fine. They don't have crab legs in England.
Mam Newton will fit right in, though. He'll be having sipping tea with the Queen. A queen.
His
sipping
velvet cape will blend right in.
Panthers are -2.5, -130 on the money line, +115 for the Bucks. 47.5 is the total. I don't know which team I like better here in ridiculous travel. I mean, I'm kind of all in on the Bucks this year. So that makes me want to stick with them and take the Bucks. I mean, would this be Bucks -5? And what was the number when they played a week ago? Was it 7?
Well, it wasn't. It was
couple
like,
weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 6.5, I think.
So the numbers come down a point since then. That's probably accurate.
Yeah, to me it's weird because I kind of like riding both these teams. I think Tampa Bay is still undervalued and can do stuff on the offensive side, and they have moments where the defensive line really shows up and does some crazy things like getting insane pressure. But again, I like this Carolina team without Cam Newton. I think they've kind of found their mojo, found the edge. The defense is gelling. Christian McCaffrey's just going off. I think what it comes down to is I do think Christian McCaffrey's kind of banged up. I talked to my boy TJ Reeves, Bucks Radio sideline guy. He's going to be heading out to London for the game.
Okay.
Super long flight. Not good on your hip if it's banged up. I think Godwin has an actually really good matchup in the slot there that can be exposed. But really what I'm looking at
Minshew was able to move the ball. I mean, I know we like the idea of Minshew being this good quarterback. I think more likely he is a rookie. He is a 6th-round pick, I believe. So it makes more sense that maybe this Panthers defense has some holes in the back end, and that would be where I think Bruce Arians is gonna enable Jameis Winston to find those holes like he does so well, and maybe do something.
These are holes he's allowed to hit. Now, I think I think another deciding factor is it looks like the Panthers tackle is going to be out, Little, and you got Shaq Barrett going up against a backup tackle with the rookie quarterback. I think this is where we kind of see Kyle Allen really struggle. So I'm going to take the Bucs here plus 2.5. If it gets to 3, I'm really going to probably pound it. But yeah, give me the Bucs plus 2.5 right now.
I'm with you. I think you take the Bucs. Unfortunately, this game's at 6:30 in the morning here on the West Coast. Will you wake up for this?
I'll probably catch the second half. That's usually my move.
Yeah. You want to come over? I'll make breakfast. We can have a early morning sesh. Yeah, I don't believe Kyle Allen can be that good. I think that's kind of where I'm coming at. 10 a.m. On to the regular start time. Cincinnati heads to Baltimore, where Baltimore is a 12-point favorite. 570 on the money line. Cincinnati 410. 48 is the total. It's a big number. This is a super big number, and I don't know if I really want to get involved in this Bengals team at this point, but the Ravens also are kind of they shot out of the cannon, and now they're just kind of rolling. And it's not like they're crushing. It's not like Lamar Jackson's looking amazing.
No.
Maybe the book's out on him a bit.
Quite the same.
Their defense has kind of been trash. I mean, I called it out. Joe Mixon in DFS. It seems like the week that maybe he gets it going. It's so hard to want to get involved in this Bengals.
A little backstory here. Bengals, they've won 8 of the last 11 meetings. Ravens, though, 8-17 ATS as favorites of 7.5 or more since 2010. So a Ravens team, they kind of win ugly. They rarely win big. The problem is, again, Cincinnati's offensive line is just so bad. Cordy Glenn looks like he's out for the Bengals as well. His replacement has been – Roto World described him as god-awful, which I didn't know. I thought Roto World was just kind of like this.
Well, that's NBC right there. Here's what I'll say. The one thing I like is the Ravens have been horrible against the spread. So that could be what's keeping this line down from 2 touchdowns. Now, obviously, the Bengals, they're 0-5. Yeah. They've covered more games than the Ravens, though.
But is this are they coming off a dream crusher game?
Oh.
Where you're at home against Arizona. This was your one chance to win a game. Get the Gatorade bucket out for Zach Taylor. You lose that game. Now you have to go to Baltimore. How do you get up for this one?
I think you got to worry about the coach at this point.
Yeah, I'm just going to take Baltimore minus 12.
I like the.
It's probably too high for me to actually mess with, but
I'm going back to the Harbaugh at home angle.
Yeah,
maybe this time if they get up, maybe they just crush it on the ground, and that's all they need. Another 10 a.m. kick, Sean. Seattle coming off Thursday night, where we've seen teams go 6-2 against the spread, 7-1 straight up. They head to Cleveland, where Cleveland is coming off the short week. And our Close Your Eyes special at a 2.5-point home dog, plus 115 on the money line. Seattle minus 2.5, minus 135. 46.5 is the total. The Browns have definitely been doing a little zig and zagging, but this just feels like a juicy.
But they zagged against the Ravens team that's clearly, like we just said, flawed. Situationally, you don't want to take. There's not normally a lot of value in going against a team that just had a horrible Monday night loss, right? And again, they fall into the Close Your Eyes special, but man, Seattle's just going to win this game. I already bet it at -2. I mean, you could find -1s even probably somewhere out there. Anything under 3, this is just an auto play for me.
Doesn't it concern you though? This is certainly going to be one of the teams that the books need.
The only reason I'm questioning it is it's just too obvious. Cleveland's offensive line's been horrible. I do think Baker's confidence is rattled. 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, turning into kind of Eli Manning-esque, Jay Cutler-esque. I mean, Clowney versus Cleveland offensive line, love that matchup. Kitchens he's playing scared. He's like pulling out the wide receiver pass early in the game.
Dude, you watched the post-game press conference, and I kid you not, I thought I was tuned into a fucking like pro bass fishing tournament.
He doesn't look like
guy.
the part.
This guy has no business running a football team.
They say dress for the job you want. He must want to be a long-haul trucker. I just don't see what this guy's doing. And they have a ton of talent. They can't put it together. The Seattle team is way more physical, and the rest disparity for teams not involved in a bye week, this is as big as it gets. Seattle coming off the Thursday night rest, and San Francisco, short week, Monday, West Coast. It's just too – I mean, Carroll was looking not only at how the towers fell, but what –
Whoa.
He was looking at footage on Friday. Kitchens is just looking at his laptop on Tuesday. And there's just too much going right for the Seattle team not to take it.
They are coming off a non-conference road spot, but it was prime time. I like to observe the close your eyes special.
Yeah.
And I like to be contrarian from time to time. But in this case, I'm going to go against both those things because I think the fact that everything you said, the rest disparity is too huge. Cleveland, yes, they may be a little desperate, but they also look like a team that's just fucking wrong. Right, they had extra time to get ready for Monday night, and they just got undressed. And Pete Carroll with plenty of time, and also just take all the other players off the field. The quarterback position, it's just a massive disadvantage when Baker Mayfield. Who would have thought of all the things you could say about Baker Mayfield this year is that he looks like a dude who just has no confidence.
Yeah,
he's a confident dude. So I don't really want to get involved. Fully appreciate this will be a massively public side. The contrarian angle is definitely to take the Browns, but I'm gonna ride with Russell here. Danger Russ. Houston heads to Kansas City, where Kansas City is a 4. Is this accurate, Sean? A 4.
This is crazy because I have my notes here that I think this opened at 7.5, even 8 some places.
4. Wow. Minus 210 on the money line. Plus 175 for the Texans. 55 is the total. This is a massive, massive overreaction, right? Or is Mahomes hurt for real?
I think Mahomes is hurt, and I think more importantly,
6.5 this opened.
Yeah, I saw 7.5.
Really?
I saw over 7, and I wish I would have went into the MyBookie Super Contest and locked it early, but
the consensus open was 8.5.
That's what I'm saying. Like I swore I saw some 8s out there. This Texans team,
that's a huge move.
Huge win for them. I guess maybe you'd want to fade them because, again, they've literally been good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. But I love the matchups. I love J.J. Watt and Merciless going up against this Kansas City offensive line. The interior line is banged up. Their offensive line is struggling. And I think this Texans team, if you give Deshaun Watson time, the easiest way to handicap this Texans team seems to be, does Deshaun Watson have time? If he does, they win. They play really well.
Yeah, isn't that the one thing the Chiefs do all right, though?
Get a pass rush?
I mean, they're coming off playing one of the better offensive lines in the league.
That's true. And maybe they are able to get pressure on Watson.
They have an average pass rush, 16th in sack rate.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that sack rate comes from when they're up big, right? So early on in the season, you're up by a big amount. It's easier to pin your ears back and get a sack when you're up 28 points against the Raiders or whatever. You throw 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
Houston 28th in defending the sack. So
yeah, their offensive line is dog shit, but I think they'll be able to hang a little bit with Kansas City. I think KC's going to struggle again. This feels like a field goal game, but I probably won't actually bet it.
Oh, I disagree with you.
But I'll take Houston +4.
The look ahead was 8. This number opened around 8. 4 points is way too much to adjust here.
For
a team that's not going to play the style of play that the Colts played. not the same style that the Ravens played, which was successful against this Chiefs team. I think they're going to try with Hyde. I think they're going to eventually give up. They're going to get caught up in a shootout, and you're not going to win too many shootouts against this team. The only concern here is if Mahomes if there's actually something wrong and they're hiding it. But I think the pass rush for the Chiefs can get home. I think it will get home. And I think, like I said, Bill O'Brien, not smart. He's going to get caught into a shootout. The way he wins this game is he pounds the rocks with Carlo Hyde. Yeah. He lets Deshaun Watson take shots.
I mean, you can run the ball against this Kansas City team. We saw that.
But we know Bill O'Brien is a complete moron. And strangely, he's been in the top 5 first coaches to be fired every year, I feel like. And he just keeps surviving. So I'm definitely going to take the favorite here. I think you're crazy for taking the points. And just from a market play, right? The Chiefs just lost. They just lost to a team that can play real physical ball. Houston can't play that level of ball, and Houston just came off a game where they scored 53 points. So
you make great points as far as the market, the situation, but I like the matchups for Houston. I think matchups are huge here.
Okay. New Orleans heads to Jacksonville, where this game, Sean, is a pick'em on the long grass in Jacksonville. -110 both ways. 44.5 is the total. Well, I'm just gonna make a habit of this, going against this Saints team and losing, because I'm give me the fighting Minshew's, right?
Oh, dude! I got a bad case of Minshew mania.
Are we stupid?
Game time kickoff Sunday. Looking around 90 degrees. New Orleans, black jerseys. I'm bringing that back, even though it failed horribly.
Well.
Maybe Lattimore slows down Chark a little bit. I just think this is kind of where the Bridgewater train gets off the tracks a little bit, the long grass outside. Jacksonville's just done a lot of stuff right.
Does Ramsey play?
That is, I mean, who knows if he can
limited practice.
Yeah, and the owners made it clear he's not trading him. He's basically said something crazy like 5 first-round picks. So maybe Jalen just realizes, like, hey, man, I can't sit these out anymore. I
want to play ball.
Yeah, so I kind of think he's going to play. And, again, they've kind of figured out how you're supposed to run the ball with Leonard Fournette. Get in the I formation, give him a fullback, seriously pound the rock. The Chark Minshew combination is legit. This New Orleans team, they've been playing great, but there's no air conditioning in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I like the way you're going
spot.
after this.
Non-conference road game for New Orleans, who's had a lot of heat with the second-string quarterback. This is kind of where it runs out.
Yeah. I think as long as they can protect Minshew.
Yeah.
I like this spot.
And Cam Jordan is having a hell of a year. So if they're going to get a sick pass rush, then that really could be problems. But I think Teddy Bridgewater turns it over. Humid ball, gets a little sloppy. Things could get wonky.
I'm with you. Philly heads to Minnesota. Minnesota -3, -150 on the money line. Eagles +125. 44 is the total.
Sidebar, though, I do think Kamara might have a couple plays there.
I'm with you there.
I'm playing a bonus DFS lineup, and I just realized I do have Kamara in there.
Sean.
Yes.
The Vikings, to me, they're worth 4 points at home. I feel like this is a disrespectful number.
To who?
Eagle, Kirk Cousins is lively again. He's now going against a nothing secondary.
Wow.
They're not winning.
You like that?
I'll take your money if you want to give it to me on this one. Minnesota -3.
All right. So you like Kirk Cousins versus winning teams, 5-27. Now, again, Ryan, what the Eagles are able to do, what the Giants weren't able to do. Eagles also 5-1 ATS last 6 on the road. They show up for a loss. They show up on the road. Their run defense has been really the strength of the defense. What they're going to be able to do is stop Dalvin Cook, or at least slow Dalvin Cook down, force Kirk Cousins into 3rd and long, and that's advantageous and can help the banged-up secondary.
Okay.
And I think Rasul Douglas, that guy's a legit number 2. Scandrick and Craig James and Sidney Jones, if he plays, those are serious concerns. But I really think the young guys got a lot of confidence with the pass rush. I think the Eagles are going to be able to move the ball, in particular over the middle. look for Zach Ertz to have a big game. Look for Dallas Goedert who's had a couple touchdowns, but I think he has a decent game. I think that's going to this is a big Zach Ertz game, I'm predicting, and the Eagles take care of business.
Yeah, I just think that the Vikings defense will be too much at home. And the Eagles might play a good game. I think they still lose. It feels like
well, they get 3 points, Ryan. And the Eagles are 33-20 ATS as road underdogs since 2005. You don't want to go against this Eagles team as a dog. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Buyer beware, Ryan.
I have nothing more to say. This game, if this game makes it into red zone, shame on all of us. Washington heads to Miami, where in spite of firing their head coach, not naming it, do we have a starting quarterback yet?
It's Case Keenum.
Case Keenum's back in there. Washington is -3.5 on the road as a favorite. -185 for the Redskins. Dolphins +155. 41 is the total. Dolphins coming off a bye week.
Ryan, what's crazier? The fact that
both these teams are in the crawl space.
Yeah, the fact that the Redskins 0-5 fire their coach and are road favorites, or that the Dolphins, a team that's clearly tanking, throwing their entire season away, they're actually a public dog. What is a crazier scenario?
Is that true?
They're getting the majority of the money, the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, wow.
Give me the Washington Deadskins.
Yeah, I'm seeing 61-39 over here on Sports. That's crazy.
This is the square sharp Super Bowl, right? There's so much value here in the Dolphins. No, there's not.
You know what's going to happen? Callahan is going to order 35 carries for Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And they're just going to run it down their fucking throats.
And this
Are we worried about dark jerseys?
A little bit, but
Adrian Peterson, don't get tired.
What I think you would be worried about, I can't believe we're breaking this game down, but Washington has something to play for, right? They have a FU Jay Gruden game locked up in the chamber, right?
It's the first game.
I mean,
with the
Adrian
new coach,
Peterson. Right? I forget what podcast I heard it on, but it may have been Kevin Clark of the Ringer. He's the good one. He's not Robert Mace, but he pointed out the great AP comment where he goes, yeah, against New England defense, they showed a lot of schemes and a lot of different looks. But against us, they were just super vanilla, and we're like, hey, you guys messed this up. So that's calling out the offense, whatever they're going to do. Case Keenum, he got 1 week of rest. He's a competent quarterback. I don't think we can say the same for Josh Rosen.
Do you know what the look-ahead line was?
Was there one?
Redskins -5.5.
Yeah,
why
there's value on the Redskins.
What
did Miami do in the bye week to figure things out? Of course the Redskins were going to get destroyed by the Patriots. We all knew that.
So funny. Yeah, they're going to miss Jay Gruden.
No, they have a Jay Gruden FU game loaded up, and the Dolphins are about to see it.
And
do they pour the Gatorade?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Callahan's getting doused. Thank you to the NFL for spreading the games out. Of course, Buffalo, Chicago, Indy, and Oakland all on bye, Sean. We have the early afternoon kicks, 1:05 p.m. here on the West Coast. San Francisco coming off the thumping on Monday night, beating the shit out of Baker. They're heading to L.A. to take on the Rams. Rams are -3 coming off the long rest. -175 on the money line. San Francisco +145. 50.5 is the total. Rams have lost 2 in a row?
Yep.
Wow. Can they lose 3 in a row?
I don't think they can. This feels like a classic back against the wall at home. They might actually have some fans here for the Rams. What matchup really scares me is this Rams offensive line, which has been suspect at times.
Yeah.
Against this 49ers defensive line, which is just looks legit.
No Gurley, maybe?
Does that matter anymore? I don't think it does.
All right. I think he's looked all right.
Yeah, but it's not shading my handicapping. The Rams Thursday night football extra rest versus San Francisco short rest. I'm gonna take both those, and we got 2 of them this week. I'm going to be on the Thursday night for both games.
Kind of fuck those teams. Why do they?
Yeah, you can't figure this out. I mean, I'll take it. But the 49ers, they're due for a loss. Rams due for a bounce-back win. And it's going to be another huge cup game because 49ers may be able to get pressure, so they're going to want a lot of quick passes to Cooper Kupp, especially without Todd Gurley. Kupp's going to have like 15 catches.
I think. I chose Woods. I think I agree. There's going to be some opportunity here, and San Francisco's undefeated. Little bullseye in the back. Sean McVay is having serious Napoleon complex. He's trying to get out of that locker because, man, 3 in a row. That would be how the mighty have fallen, Sean.
Ryan, I forgot to mention it when we broke down the Browns game, but Cleveland, they lost by 28 points and were outgained 266 yards. By either metric, it was worse than any loss in the Hugh Jackson era.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of insane?
Yeah.
As much as we'd like to shit on Hugh, and rightly so, Freddie Kitchens, they've had a couple real bad games.
Yep. How many touchdowns does Baker have? 4?
4. 9 INTs.
Danny Dimes, how many touchdowns is he responsible for? 6.
Look out.
Look out. Get a real quarterback, son. We're both on the Rams here. This look ahead was 4.5 too, Sean. So that's a pretty nasty adjustment. Atlanta heads to Arizona, where Arizona finally got a win. They are now 2.5-point home dogs, plus 125 on the money line. Falcons are minus 145. 51.5 is the total. I'm doing it, Sean. I am promoting the Falcons into the crawl space with the Dolphins and the Redskins. How do you like them apples? You on board with the move?
Well, it's interesting because, these teams are kind of similar in a way, not by their payroll or where they're at, but they're teams that kind of have a passing offense, but other than that, horrible defense, are behind. They'll get you some garbage points fantasy-wise.
Yeah, Atlanta's looked great on the road this year.
No, Atlanta's looked horrible on the road, and everyone, a big thing, and I think we even had it there, was Matt Ryan in the Dome all year. Look out, they're going to get hot.
I know, right? I was way off on that.
Quinn is just not a competent coach. The team's really falling apart. But on the other side, you got this Arizona Cardinals team coming off a win. Isn't that when you want to fade Kyler in Arizona?
84% of the money on Matt Ryan.
Okay. Oh, that's all I needed. I was going back and forth, but yeah, give me Zona as a home dog. I think
Dan Quinn's getting fired. I think he's lost the team. Right? Yeah. They've looked like trash.
Give me Fitz too in fantasy. I think he does something.
Yeah, I like that. And I think Dolphins, Redskins, Falcons, worst 3 teams in the league. That's where I'm going right now.
Yeah. Falcons making a case.
Jets they're close, but they get their quarterback. So speaking of the Jets, they host the Dallas Cowboys. 125 kick here. Minus 350 for the Cowboys as a 7.5-point favorite. Plus 290 for the Jets. 43 is the total. Sam Darnold's spleen is it go? Go for launch?
Yeah. Sounds like he won't die if he plays in this game. Although, won't their faces be red if he plays and he dies?
Wow. That's dark, Sean. That's awfully dark.
It is dark. I do think Lev Bell. Lev Bell could get going. Look what Aaron Jones did to this Cowboys defense. Aaron Jones, first running back in the NFL history to have 4 rushing touchdowns against the vaunted Dallas Cowboys, formerly America's team.
Tackles are out. That's all this is about. The tackles are out for the Cowboys.
Tyron Smith.
They haven't practiced, we should say. This is Wednesday
night. But I think
night.
Tyron Smith definitely, he's trending out, and Lael Collins, I think, is also out. C.J. Mosley still is doubtful for the Jets, and that would have been great to get him back. Sam Darnold, he's taking all the practice reps, and he's going to play, which is a good strategy. Gase didn't do that leading up into the game.
That's the problem
against the Eagles.
Gase is a moron, but I think Darnold coming back, they sling the rock a little bit. Hopefully the offensive line can do something.
And I honestly think, and in my bonus DFS lineup, I do have Lev Bell going because
I think he's a good value.
He gets a lot of the garbage PPR points, but I think he actually could have some running yards. And Darnold, listen, the guy's he's a competent quarterback.
Can I blow your mind?
Sure.
Jets are actually 3rd in defensive line yards. So I think they may be able to shut down the run and then affect the passing game because the running game's not working.
Well, that's interesting because watching the game against the Eagles, I was like, this D line's actually kind of solid, But then I was like, that's the Jets. It's just really the Eagles not playing well. But it's good to know that they are that well statistically because, I mean, I don't know. I think the Jets will be able to hang. This will be the Jets will get out. They'll get up like 10-0 randomly, and you'll be like, oh, my God, are they going to win outright? And then it'll be 28-24 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Darnold coming back matters. I mean, now we know he played through mono that first game, and we all know what that's like. It's just super tough. Prom night, got to play through the pain.
Possible look-ahead line. Look-ahead game for the Cowboys.
Who's on deck, Sean?
The Philadelphia Eagles at home the following week.
Love the look-ahead spot, and we also love to fade the Cowboys. Also, 125, the Tennessee Titans, they head to Denver, where Denver is a 2-point favorite. Broncos minus 130 on the money line. Titans plus 110. 39 is the total. What the fuck is up with this Titans team?
They are highly schizophrenic, much like the AFC South. # tighten up.
Denver,
I think Tennessee is kind of a physical team.
Mm-hmm.
Matches up well with Denver. Fournette, he had 225 rushing yards against Denver. Derrick Henry could have a similar outing.
Feels like it.
Who have the Broncos struggled with? Teams that can't pass the ball and that are physical and have big running backs, right? We saw that with the Bears. We saw that with the Jags, although the Jags kind of were able to pass the ball a little bit. But that kind of seems to be the formula to beat the Broncos. Or I could see a 1-point win for the Broncos as well. And look-ahead spot is for Denver is also in play. They got Kansas City coming into town Thursday night. Denver has some momentum. They got a division win. But I'm actually going to take Titans coming off a bye, right? Or no, they had the Bills. Sorry. They
came off a game where they had to cut their kicker.
Yeah,
how are
right.
teams doing coming off cut their kicker games? I don't know if it's a good thing.
The Chargers.
San Diego Superchargers, charge!
We got to get our shit going mentally.
We have Mariota.
That's an underrated drop.
We have Mariota. We have Flacco. Road Mariota against Vic Fangio. I want to say it looks like he's gotten the defense headed in the right direction. And I just can't. You're insane if you want to back Marcus Mariota on the road against a good defense. That just seems insane to me. Maybe Derrick Henry runs for 20 yards. But
are they a good defense? No Bradley Chubb.
They looked.
They kind of showed up against.
They showed up,
and I didn't mean that as like questioning. I meant that as an earnest question. Are the Broncos a good defense?
I think they are improving. I think they're running a new system, and I think it took a little bit of time. They looked like a confident defense last week, and I think confidence is key for defense. And again, I'd rather not have to have a Mariota anything in my pocket walking into Denver. That just seems like a troublesome spot to be in. So give me another more chalk. You're taking Mariota on the road. You're insane.
Yeah,
you're insane.
This is not a game.
I tried to talk you out of it.
This is not a game I feel great about. You're not going to see it in my bookie super contest.
Oh,
You're not going to see me actually betting on it.
But for pick'em purposes, Sean. I'm
not gonna
pass this game. Sean, are you passing this game?
No.
Pittsburgh heads to Los Angeles first. Guess what, Sean? They're coming to Hollywood for Sunday Night Football.
Hollywood.
The Chargers -6.
Carson, California. Hollywood.
-6.
It's like 90 minutes. Good luck.
It's pretty far to call it Hollywood. -6.5, -290 on the money line. Pittsburgh +245. 41 is the total. Oh, man. How many times has Hodges, is that his name? Hodges started on Sunday Night Football? 0. 0.0.
Well, this is his first career start, Ryan. So,
all right. Mason Rudolph was with the team for a little while.
Yeah.
You think you can't bet on Hodges? He's not even getting a touchdown on the road.
Well,
think about this.
I think you can probably find some spots to, I think there's probably some. If you shop around, maybe you'll eventually get to 7 there. Dude, the Pittsburgh defensive line, and we haven't even talked about it. Pouncey's out for the season. The Chargers, they're quietly in my own personal timeout. Dude, their offensive line is so bad. They keep figuring out how to blow games. Pittsburgh, They already, all these fans booked their travel. They're
Yep.
all going to show up. The Yins are going to be taking over Los Angeles.
I agree with that.
Chargers are 6-2 against the spread in San Angeles. They just don't win or cover spreads at home. I think this is going to be a tough game for them. I think TJ Watt, Devin Bush are going to show up against this Chargers offensive line, and I think Phillip Rivers might be on his way out.
So he was undrafted. He was on the practice squad. Although, Sean, did you know he holds the career passing yards record for the FCS at 14,584 yards over there at Samford?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Again, undrafted. He was on the practice squad, so he was with the team for a bit. He should at least.
I think Tomlin can scheme up some.
Tomlin's not a smart man.
Well,
Anthony Lynn might also not be a smart man.
But Tomlin is a coach that gets his guys to play for him, right?
Are they going to rally around Mason Rudolph here?
Mason Rudolph was almost murdered. I mean, that's why Juju Smith-Schuster was like, what the hell's going on? Because he did appear to be murdered, right? I mean, we haven't been talking about
Did
this
I mention
enough.
that Hodges broke the record, which was held by Steve McNair?
Dude, don't be surprised.
Sorry, you were talking about murder.
Don't be surprised if Hodges is scrambling around. They have some sort of weird wildcat formation. They get some.
Are you just assuming he's someone who runs the ball?
Yeah. Is he not?
I mean, he rushed for 14,000 yards. I'm assuming
1,400. You mean
14,000 in college?
Oh, in college, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's going to be a matchup nightmare because there's no film on him. They have James Conner. Watch for some RPOs, dude. I mean, I think Pittsburgh has a decent shot to win that game outright.
He ran for 1,000 yards over his whole career, so I wouldn't say he's a rusher, but he effectively rushed occasionally. So
yeah, I think they're going to have some.
I wouldn't say averaging 2.7 yards per carry makes you a elusive runner.
All right, but you don't think? I think he will. I'll take the over on his rushing yards.
Okay,
So if it's like 20 yards, I'm taking the over.
Probably less than that, but okay. I'll take the under at 20 yards.
All right.
And I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm very, very chalky this week.
San Diego Superchargers, charge!
Detroit. They head to Green Bay on Monday Night Football. Detroit's coming off the bye, too. Extra long rest. Green Bay -4, -220 on the money line, +180 for the Lions. 47's the total.
Green Bay Packers 17-3 straight up in their last 20 games when playing at home against Detroit.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Rodgers at home Monday night in Lambeau. I mean, you can try and have some more insight. Kerryon Johnson may be able to do some stuff. I'm backing the Packers. Hopefully they get Devontae Adams back. But anything under 6, I just got to take Green Bay. I think this Green Bay team is quality. Now, the Eagles came in and gave them a good game. The Eagles were a desperate team. They played a type of game that I think Green Bay had trouble matching up against. But I think they did figure out some of that defensive stuff that they were struggling with as far as stopping running the ball on that Thursday long bye week. Because Zeke Elliott at home couldn't get the rush going. Now, maybe Kerryon Johnson, they do some stuff. But again, Stafford just isn't going to go in and win in Lambeau. It was
all about tackling. The issue they had against the Eagles was less about them
not
getting
being
blown
in the right
up.
spot.
They missed a lot of tackles and they cleaned that up. And they play hard. And I think this defense, it's legitimately good. I still have questions about the offense, but they were able to get it done on the ground, and that's something we haven't seen in how many years with McCarthy. Just to have one of those games where Aaron Rodgers didn't need to do anything because Aaron Jones, it's the two Aarons.
And, he's not going to have 4 touchdowns, but that certainly has got to feel good for his confidence, right?
No, but even for Aaron Rodgers, you can finally not be the guy. You don't have to be the guy all the time. And as much as maybe he didn't love the scheme to begin with, maybe this is the game where he now buys in and is like, hell, this is kind of nice to not have to be relied on, right? I don't have my number one receiver. And Aaron Jones can go out there and we can pound the rock and our defense can ball out And that's that. And perhaps we're buying high on the stock, and Detroit is kind of flying under the radar. They're coming off they're coming off that bye, and I guess bye weeks are starting, so we'll start tracking that too, Sean. But that would be the thing that concerns me. But you called it out. Aaron Rodgers doesn't lose the Lions. Period.
No.
Even if it takes a Hail Mary, it will happen.
It will. All hail Aaron Rodgers.
All hail.
Time for the Lock Dog and Tease, brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Code SGP.
Real quick shout out. Was just trolling around the BetSperts page as I was locking in my picks for the Week 6 contest. I noticed you can check on coldest BetSperts. Hottest BetSperts, you were making a cameo there.
Yeah.
Well, Capper right there too. Coldest BetSperts, Scotty Bows. Oh no. Oh no!
Shout out
4 and 16 in his last 20. So
now wait, where do you go to get the hottest? You go to NFL or do you go top bets?
So I'm in the group. So I went to the group.
Okay.
And then I click the group, and on the right side you can see based on what you sort it by. So I clicked NFL, and then I went to coldest BetSperts.
Okay, last 20. If you go top BetSperts. And again, unclear if I'm in the group or not. I don't know how this works, but
you're not there anymore.
No, I'm 18-2, last 20 in NFL. Second place, Whale Capper 16-4, T43 16-4, Hammer Sport 16-4, WPHO 16-4.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. All right, Kramer.
Play the Lock Dog T sound effect.
I did, but you're right. We should.
Happy birthday.
I'll start things off, Ryan. That seems to be our mojo right now. For my lock, give me the Seahawks -2.5.
Yeah.
It's just, why overthink this? There's no need. For my dog. What do I do here, Kramer?
I mean, you're going to take the Eagles, right? I wouldn't advise my clients, but that's what you're going to do.
It's the kind of game the Eagles win. In Minnesota. Offensive line pushing guys around, getting in Kirk Cousins' face. A little turnover action. Zach Ertz, big game. You heard it here first. Zach Ertz, big game. For my tees. How cute do I get with this? All right, give me the Bucks up to 8.5. Right? That's a good tease.
Yeah, a lot of key numbers there.
New England -11.5, just because it's free money. I could do Houston up to 10, but I'll do Baltimore down to 6. Cincinnati's bad. Do I need to explain it more?
Just head over to youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Check out Sean's facial expressions as he painfully selects his tees.
It's my thinking face, Ryan.
I thought you were going to go Steelers for the money line. I really thought you were touting that a little bit before the show.
I did give that out over on the Three Dog Thursday podcast as well. I think I was thinking of doing a Keystone parlay, an Eagles money line and a Pats money line, and the Steelers money line parlay. I'll calculate the numbers there, Ryan, while you give out your picks.
Why don't you do that while I'm giving out my picks, Sean? Listen, 4 points from the look ahead just seems to be wrong. I know Tyreek Hill probably not going to play, but this Chiefs team should not. This number is too small. The touchdown was right, in my opinion. And I think this is going to be a classic overreaction where we're going to see Kansas City come out, roll it up, and dominate here. Houston is on that list of teams that can win and lose by 3 touchdowns, and it's going to happen here. Everyone, this is egregious overreaction by the odds makers here. I guess they're just taking a lot of money, but God, I don't know who's taking the Texans +5, +4. Full blown idiot. For my dog, Sean, I haven't had a ton of success with the smaller dogs.
You got to go big dog or nothing.
So perhaps I go big. And last week I went 2-1. This week I'll go a little bit bigger for you, Sean. plus 290. The New York Jets. Sam Darnold.
Okay.
This Cowboys team's in trouble. No
Okay.
left tackles. I think, shit's the clapper was throwing. He's spiking the red flag. The Wonder Boy. His offense maybe not all that good. Dakota is costing himself millions and millions of dollars with every pick.
That is a really, and shame on us, Ryan, for not talking about that more. But he's really
For my
should have inked that deal right after the Dolphins game.
Woo! For my tees, fuck you. Phillip Rivers isn't losing to a guy named Hodges. Down to a half. Give me the Bucks up to 8.5. Give me the Cardinals up to 8.5.
So sorry, you had
Chargers
Cardinals?
minus a half.
Okay, that's a loser. And you had
Bucks and Cardinals up to 8.5.
Okay, yeah, I mean, look, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston in a tease. What could go wrong?
Sean,
man?
I got to be honest with when I was making my list of the games that I was.
But I also have Jameis and Lamar
love that.
Jackson. So
Redskins were my second selection for my lock. So I couldn't do it.
I think I'm gonna include them in my bookie super contest.
Right,
dude, they're so bad.
I just worry the Dolphins coming off that bye.
Got to look out for that. All right, guys. Thanks as always for tuning into the podcast. Rate, review, share on iTunes. Help us crush these other podcasts.
Yeah, fuck them.
And as we climb the charts, I'll be screenshotting, throwing little videos out there. And again, great review earlier that we read on air. Podcast at sportsgamblingpodcast.com to claim your merch. And of course, we'll be doing the lock challenge where you guys vote on whatever lock you want to represent a certain Twitter user. We'll pull that Twitter user on the pregame Periscope.
Love
if it hits, $100 cold hard cash. Check us out on Spotify as well. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Let's go Jets.
Kramer. Let it ride.